Everybody likes to go on vacation, no, most people. But everything that exists comes from Krishna, comes from God. And therefore going on vacation also comes from God. So we go out, and one of the greatest things, or one of the most pleasurable things for most people, is to give someone else happiness. Most normal people get more happiness giving happiness to others than trying to create some self-happiness. And the provincial helping an elderly lady across the street, or something. So in the same way, the Lord, that tendency also comes from Jagannath, from Krishna. He feels greater pleasure going out, and with his transcendental smile and beautiful lotus-like eyes, then he enchants, he tintillates the minds of the people by his beauty and by his extraordinary characteristics. Of course, some people might not get such a big glimpse of Jagannath and his mini manifestation, but we'll do our best to point him out. So we were speaking this morning about tolerance, compassion, and friendship being three progressive features of the same sentiment of service. When we want to serve others, we have to have tolerance. I just gave the example of a small child. Any ordinary person who has a small child, many of you have experienced, what it's like. Small child, you have to just, whatever the child wants, you have to give in, you have to do it. And there's no question of doing things in a different way. So the same way with the Lord himself, he simply wants to give pleasure to his devotees, and he wants them to be happy. And therefore he's willing to sacrifice. Of course, everything he does, because he's transcendental, he's not affected by material nature like us. Something goes wrong. With Krishna, nothing ever goes wrong. Everything goes right. But with us, many things go wrong. And so when even if we go out, just like we were a little concerned this morning, it may rain, but that turned out not to be a problem. Or even if it's a little cold, like, what was it, 2 years ago, right? It was like 35 degrees or something when we went out. But still, the Lord still goes out. Srila Prabhupada used to always say that Krishna is always there at 4:30 in the morning, in spite of our for Mangalarti. He's always there every day. And so in the same way, Lord Jagannath, he wants to go out despite the climatic conditions, just like in the original Yatra, it's always during the rainy season. So it's inevitable that it will start raining, monsoon rains, but nobody cares because they've come to see Jagannath. Just like last year, I was in the Rath Yatra, Surat in India, and after the Jagannath festival, I think there were at least well over 1 million people on the parade route. Some people had been there for 4 or 5 hours waiting just for Jagannath to pass by for 5 minutes. And because I saw, when I left the festival at about 8:30 or 9 at night after about 8 hours. And so I had to go return to the temple. I had to follow the route and all the way, which means that the Jagannath would not arrive at the end point until about 3 hours later. Still, it was full of people. But we don't have that same response in the West, so therefore we try to find a circumstance where Lord Jagannath can go out. And so we started this, although we had the idea for doing it in San Antonio first, we started in Monterrey, Mexico. But we actually had the idea many, many years ago to take the deities on the Riverwalk, but we never got a chance. Adani wanted to do that. So we had our first Riverwalk in honor of his desire. And so we're continuing that. So I gave it the name Jala Yatra because we go on the water. Rata Yatra means you go in a carroza, a chariot, but we go on in a boat. But it doesn't matter. No, the Lord can go on the boat. Also, Krishna does every year, and every time he appears, he has a big boat festival. So we're doing in between the two, Krishna's boat festival and Jagannath's Jala Yatra. No. But the important thing is that people can hear the Lord's holy name, because although the Lord may go out in the form of Jagannath or Gornitai or another form of the Lord, his main form in this age is in the form of the holy name, Srinam. And he requests his devotees to please take him out daily and let everyone hear the holy name. So this is the main thing we want to accomplish. Also, we get the privilege of riding with Lord Jagannath. How many people, just like I used to see these bumper stickers, I'm sure some of you saw it, God is my co-pilot. No. So I stopped one man, I said, better God is your pilot, you be the co-pilot. I'd rather have God as my pilot than my co-pilot. So we have Krishna as the pilot, although he allows us to drive the chariot, he allows us to cut up little pieces of fruit for him, even though he's supplying all the fruit in all the three worlds. But still, he takes the position of a dependent, because that's the nature of love and service. When there's transcendental spiritual service, it means that we have in one of our scriptures, the Dati Pratigrinati, that one of the aspects of interchanging love is to give a gift and to receive a gift. And another aspect, Guyam Akyati Prichati, to reveal one's mind to someone in whom one has full confidence, and that someone may reveal their mind to us. So this also happens between the devotee and the Lord, that we reveal our mind. Krishna, why is this happening? I don't understand this. One way of revealing our mind, which Srila Prabhupada established, is to ask questions, that we reveal our doubts, and we can hopefully hear from Krishna's servants an answer, a suitable answer. So all these loving exchanges, they come originally from Krishna. Hum devam jayate chaiva, that we offer food to Krishna, and Krishna offers it back. Generally speaking, he doesn't eat the whole thing. No. Although there was one instance where, there was a few instances. One in particular with one devotee, Raghunandana. Raghunandana, he was about 4 or 5 years old, His father was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya and uh, um, a doctor, physician. So he was just getting ready to prepare the offering, and he got a call. He had to go out. So he told his son, Raghunandan, make sure that the Lord gets his offering. So Raghunandan is just a young boy. So he took the plate, the offering plate, put it on the altar, and he sat down and he waited for a few minutes. And then he said, "For my Lord, you have to eat." And my father said, I must make sure you get your offering. So please eat the offering. No, nothing happened. And he said, my dear Lord, I think my father will chastise me if you don't make the offering. And if you don't take this offering. And so still the Lord stood there. So he started insisting, my Lord, my father told me you have to do this. And so please, please. And so the deity actually moved and took the offering and ate it. And his father came home. And he said, so he asked his wife, please, can you serve the prasadam? She said, there isn't any. What do you mean there isn't any? No. He brought the plate out, it was empty. How could that be? He's too young, he's too small to eat the whole offering. How can that be? I don't know. They were completely bewildered. So then Mukunda, his father, said, my dear son, I want to make another offering to the deity. Please, you offer. He prepared a plate, gave it to his son. And he said, make sure that Krishna eats. Oh. And so then he offered it again. And he said, my dear Lord, please eat. But this time, please leave something for my father. No. And so the deity, and so his father was watching from behind. The deity got down and took half and left half. No. So in that temple, they always have half of a laddu always on the altar. So it was but usually Krishna leaves everything on because he eats with his eyes, or he can eat with his ears, or he can eat with anything, because his body is totally transcendental. But he likes to give everything back to his devotee. And anyone who has offered many times to Krishna can understand when Krishna accepts the offering, it tastes different. It tastes better because Krishna has tasted it. So anyway, he offers us this opportunity to go with him, although it seems like we're taking him. No, because he's offering that opportunity to do service. And one may think, if Krishna is the source of humility, because he's the source of everything, how can he insist on us doing so many things for him? Where is the humility? Oh, he wants us to serve, do this, do that, offer me this, get up in the morning, and don't eat too much, don't eat too little, don't. So many things he's demanding. But he says at the beginning of the 10th chapter and also in the 18th chapter, he says, I'm only doing this, for your benefit. No, I'm not, there's no benefit for me. What benefit do I get? Some, oranges or some papaya, or so, when in the heavenly planets there are mangoes as big as elephants, and we're giving them like a little tiny one full of string. And so, but Krishna accepts, and he simply demands for us so that the nature of our love will increase. He's demanding that. You have to do this for me in this way, so that by doing it in a certain way, we give up our particular mood, our particular motive, our particular ambition, and we have to do it as Krishna wants. So this is the purpose of serving Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna prefers to serve his devotees. He much prefers to do that. But when he sees that the devotee can increase their devotion, then Krishna sometimes puts them in a circumstance where it seems like he's demanding something, but he's not. He's simply demanding, I want you to come closer to me so that our loving devotional relationship will increase more and more and more. And if we do it, if we serve Krishna in that mood, it doesn't matter how difficult it is, how many pakoras we have to cook, or how much of this we have to make, or how many things we have to do, or how much grass we have to cut, or how many books we have to distribute. It doesn't matter. What matters is that one will feel that reciprocity with Krishna, and one's devotion will increase more and more and more. So the purpose, of course, purposes of Rath Yatra is to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. And even this Jala Yatra, in one sense, we're taking Lord Jagannath back to Vrindavan because that's Lord Jagannath's mood. We can see his face. He has this beautiful smile, and so does Balaram, and so does Subhadra, because they're thinking of going to Vrindavan. That's why. That's what that expression means. Thinking of Vrindavan. So when we take them out, chanting the holy name is the activity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's constant desire was to go to Vrindavan and to be in Vrindavan. And so when we take Lord Jagannath out, we're taking him out so he can give his darshan. In other words, he can transfer into the heart and through the eyes, through the ears, and into the heart of living entities who are just caught up in their normal daily activities, and he can let them feel a happiness that they have not felt before. But that depends a lot on us. It depends on our enthusiasm, on our, trying to offer the holy name in the mood of service. But we want you to experience the holy name of Krishna. And the more we desire that, the more that the holy name will take advantage of our desire. And because the holy name wants to bless everyone, and he wants us to have that opportunity to be the carrier or the instrument by which others can receive his mercy. So we just have to be sincere about it, and not allow our mind to be distracted by other things, the lights and the people, but just be concentrating on, let us give the holy name to all of these people. And with Lord Jagannath's mercy and the mercy of the holy name and the association of the devotees, we will be able to do so. So those are some thoughts on what we're doing this evening. That was it now?
6:12.
Any questions? Any comments?
Maharaj, Hare Krishna. What spiritual benefits will all this crowd of people will get when they hear us chanting today?
All the what?
What spiritual benefits?
What
For
benefit?
the people or for us?
For the people.
Oh, they hear the holy name of Krishna.
Who never heard.
They hear the holy name. It's such a great benefit, because by hearing the holy name, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Vikramanashasi Patavayo and the Vijite Swapamapyasya Dharmasha. That even if you do some little service, otherwise if someone hears the holy name, that the benefit is eternal. Even if it doesn't manifest right at that moment, it's there in a seed form, and it will never go away.
So it's like they doing a little service by just hearing.
Well, it's meaning a little. It's not they're just hearing it for 30 seconds or 1 minute. So it's a big service for them. For us, it may seem like a little service because we're chanting, well, hopefully, we're chanting all day long. And so, but yes, it's a tremendous gain. When Haridas Thakur would chant the holy name, it sounded like he was chanting very loudly. It sounded like that the sound was echoing off of the trees, but actually it was the trees that were hearing him and they were chanting. He was so powerful. So if one is very powerful, one's devotion is very strong, one can help others to that the holy name of Krishna penetrates into their heart. So that's what we're.
Can you share a few more details about the deity of Lord Jagannath for those of us that maybe aren't so familiar?
Okay,
Like who Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani are? Who what's the deities?
yeah. Well, actually, Jagannath is Krishna. Jagannath means Lord of the universe, and or the Lord of the controller of the whole universe. So that's Krishna's job. But why does he have this big smile? Because Krishna resides in 3 places: Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. These 3 places. Vrindavan is a forest where Krishna can be himself to the maximum degree. A young boy just playing his flute, playing with his friends, playing with the gopis, playing with his mother and father, playing with the cows. That's his most, just like Vrindavan is like Krishna's free time. We all enjoy our free time, right? We have our time off. So Vrindavan is Krishna's time off. He can just enjoy. He's just the supreme enjoyer. In the Upanishad, it says, Tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, that he is that one person in Vrindavan who has nothing else to do, nothing to do, but just to enjoy, just to be the supreme pleasure giver and the supreme enjoyer. So, but when Krishna wants to do things in such a way to be exemplary for society, he goes to Mathura and then to Dwarka. Dwarka is his palace on the ocean. So when he's in Dwarka, he begins to remember Vrindavan. And of course, he always remembers Vrindavan, but he starts to remember very intensely. And he starts calling out the names of the cows. And his wives, he has many wives, unlimited wives. And they begin to hear him calling these names of the cows. And then he's calling the names of the cowherd boys. And then he's calling the names of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. But then he starts calling the names of the gopis, which definitely becomes disturbing to the wives and queens in Dwarka. No, just like any husband, if he's sleeping and starts reciting some lady's names, then his wife will not be very happy. Okay? And so, where does that come from? It comes from Krishna. So, then Krishna, one day he cannot get up. He cannot get up. And so they have a big discussion. there's two sides. On one side is Rohini and Balaram and Uddhava, and on the other side is Narada Muni, Satyabhama, and Rukmini. They don't want Krishna to go to Vrindavan because they think he may not come back. But Rohini, Balaram, and Uddhava, they're thinking about how the residents are suffering in Vrindavan without Krishna's presence. So they're saying Krishna should go back. So there's a big argument. And finally, they decide that, and the queens are wondering, what is so special about Vrindavan? So the queens, they get together and they speak to Rohini and they say, you were there in Vrindavan, please explain to us what is so special about Vrindavan? And she says, yes, but I will explain it, but someone has to wait outside and make sure that Krishna doesn't come. No one can hear this except for all of you. If Krishna comes, this may increase his desire to go back to Vrindavan. So Subhadra said, I've already heard everything about Vrindavan. She's Krishna's sister, Subhadra in the middle. He said, I'll wait outside. So she waits outside and she puts her hands like this so no one can go in. And then Krishna and Balaram come walking by. And in the meantime, Subhadra is hearing all these pastimes through the door of Krishna in Vrindavan. And she becomes so ecstatic that her eyes become very big. Oh, and this big smile on her face. And Krishna and Balaram, what's Subhadra and her arms? They see her arms actually go into her body out of ecstasy. And then Krishna and Balaram, they come and they stand on each side of her. Oh, Krishna on her left side and Balaram on her right side. So, and they start hearing about Vrindavan. And then their eyes become very big and their smile becomes very big and their hands go partially into their body. And that's how they take these forms. This is the form of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the form of Jagannath, his brother Balaram, Baladev, and his sister Subhadra, all hearing about Vrindavan. This is what happens if we hear about Vrindavan to us also, if we hear enough. But we have to forget about hearing about other things and just hear about Vrindavan. And then we will also develop this wonderful, beautiful form. Not exactly the same, but we will definitely be very happy. And so that's how that form comes about. So after the queens heard about this, Krishna was still, he was like almost in a state of intoxication, just thinking about Vrindavan. And so then Narada Muni suggested that we should take him to Nava Vrindavan. And Nava Vrindavan was a replica of Vrindavan that was near Dwarka, that they made just for this purpose, in case Krishna would become desirous of being in Vrindavan. They could take him here. So they brought him there. But it was like Vrindavan, but everyone was a statue. Otherwise, Mother Yashoda, statue of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's mother and father, statue of the gopis, statue of the cowherd boys, statues of the cows. And Krishna woke up. He was unconscious, just thinking about Vrindavan. He woke up and he saw these figures. And he said, nobody wants to speak to me. Even Mother Yashoda, she's holding out butter, but she's not giving it to me. So it must be because I have acted so cruelly to the residents of Vrindavan. What can I do? He went over to the gopis. No, they won't speak to me. Nobody will speak to me. Let me go to the Yamuna. So Krishna walks over to the ocean, thinking it's the river Yamuna. and he sees these strange waves coming in. Never saw these waves before. And then he looks on the other side and he sees a huge city. And thinking, where did that city come from in Vrindavan? And so Balaram says, actually, that is Dwarka. That is where we live. And so Krishna comes back to external consciousness. Yes, we have a few more demons to kill, then we can go back to Vrindavan. So Krishna accepts that. But then after a few more days, he again starts to, feel that he has to go to Vrindavan. So they get his chariot together. But then Balaram and Uddhava, they say, if Krishna, if I go first, I could go because he should not go alone. But if I go, Balaram says, they won't believe me. I told them that Krishna would be coming in a few weeks and he never came. And Uddhava said, I also can't go. Subhadra said, I'll go. I'm a woman, they'll believe me. No, they'll believe me, so I'll go. So she put her chariot in front of Krishna's chariot. But then Balaram thought, I can't let my sister go in front. Someone has to protect her. So Balaram put his chariot in front of Subhadra's chariot, and then they all headed to Vrindavan. So that was the first Rath Yatra. Of course, not the first one in the sense that was 5,000 years ago, and Balaram and Jagannath are eternal. But that was the first one in this day of Brahma, this millennium, first Rath Yatra. And so this is, Rath Yatra means that the residents of Vrindavan, they come to Kurukshetra, where before the battle of Kurukshetra, and they come and they request, they hear that Krishna is coming for an eclipse. Eclipses are not, even though outside society will say, go and look at the eclipse. In the Vedas, the eclipses are considered to be very inauspicious, and one should not look at them. And so everybody went to Kurukshetra, a holy place, for the eclipse. And the residents of Vrindavan heard that Krishna was coming. They went and they saw Krishna there. And Radharani especially, she said, you are the same Krishna, I'm the same Radharani. So here we are in this place. But this is not Vrindavan. This is not the Yamuna. You're wearing a helmet. You're on a chariot. There are elephants. There are soldiers. This is not the right mood. Please come back to Vrindavan. And she begs him. And Krishna says, actually, I'm situated in everyone's heart. So you can all just worship me within the heart. But then Radharani says, that is a very absurd proposition, Krishna. I'm trying to forget you. I've been trying to forget you, and I can't forget you, so why should I meditate on you? No. And as far as the gopis, they simply want to be with you. They don't want to meditate with you. They're not yogis. So please, give up your arguments and come back. But then Krishna didn't move. So she said, okay, I understand. You are a lampata. You are a cheater. Sometimes you break your promises. So, but what about, it's all right. We're used to it. We're used to you treating us badly. But what about Yashoda? And what about Nanda Maharaj? You're known as Madhusudana, the killer of the Madhu demon. You're known as Arisudana, the killer of the Adi demon. But are you Nanda Sudana? Are you killer of Nanda Maharaj? Are you the killer of Yashoda? No. You have to come back. Don't forget about us, but just think about Nanda Maharaj. Do you want them to die? So Krishna said, "My dear Radharani, you should know that the only way that you've been able to sustain your life is because I got a special blessing from my deity, Narayan. He said I could go to Vrindavan every day and I enter into your mind and your heart. I haven't been able to do it with everyone else, but only with you. And that's why you have been able to maintain your life. So I only have a few more demons to kill, and then I'll come back to Vrindavan." And she was very happy, but he didn't come back. He did come back eventually, but a long time after that. So this whole parade is meant that the devotees, of course, normally it's with a chariot pulling the rope. We're pulling Krishna, we're begging Krishna, please come back to Vrindavan. In other words, please let us understand your activities and your pastimes in Vrindavan, which are the sweetest and the most wonderful activities that you perform in this world. So please let us hear about these activities. And so we're pulling Krishna back to a special place in our heart where we prepare ourselves by chanting the holy name. We prepare ourselves by serving Krishna and by dedicating ourselves to his service. And then the heart becomes purified and Krishna can sit there in his original form. And we can feel his presence 24 hours a day. So that is Rath Yatra. And Jala Yatra, same thing. We're just doing it on the water. Funny, those are some details.
I guess we can stop here.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you all. And now we can go and distribute the holy name of Krishna to all the people who they don't know it, but they're waiting for it. Srila Prabhupada, just to conclude, in 1969, in one big Rath Yatra, there were many thousands of people. And so one interviewer, he said, "So how many of these people belong to your group?" And Prabhupada looked, he said, "All of them." And then the guy looked, because he could see that there were many people that weren't part of our group. And Prabhupada said, "Some of them have not realized it yet." So that's our mood, that they're out there, but they're just trying to go to the restaurant or the bar or whatever they're doing, walking around buying things. Well, the buying is over with, now they're returning things. So we want to give them the holy name.
Few details, we have the boat leaves at exactly 8 o'clock. We have a few people online, so
At 8 o'clock?
8 p.m.
Oh, we have to go there.
Yeah, we probably should be leaving in the next 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There is some dinner, if anybody wants to take a quick bite. Genevieve already made a really nice enchilada casserole. Huh? Oh, Brady helped too. Well, we made an enchilada casserole, but I would say in the next 20-25 minutes we should be on the road, because by the time everybody figures out where we're at, it's at the Pearl Brewery, which is like a compound. It used to be an old brewery, but now there's boutiques and lofts and restaurants and hotels there. You're gonna look for Hotel Emma, and then you're gonna look for a pavilion. It's somewhere in that area. We'll be there. If you don't have the picture, I can send you the picture.
Oh, we can put a location once we get there.
We could drop in where we are or where we're at. But if you're online or here in person, you should get there hopefully by 7:15, 7:20, and it's about a 20-25 minute drive. So we'll stop here. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. But